This 39 Dunedin News Bulletin proudly brought to you in association with Alex Campbell's Menswear.
Tonight on 39 Dunedin News, University of Otago research reveals the impact of a condition that's affecting more local children per capita. Changes to the city's bus network have come into play, and the ORC is confident bus users will be pleased. And we find out why the turn of the month is prompting locals to think about their drinking habits. Good evening, Dunedin. I'm Rebecca Dupree. A first-of-its-kind study is shedding light on a debilitating health condition affecting local children. University of Otago research reveals the impact of rickets throughout New Zealand, and for some, it can be fatal.
Dunedin's not known for its sunshine, and new research shows the gloomy weather has serious ramifications for children's health. Otago University's Dr Ben Wheeler says vitamin D deficiency from a lack of sunlight is causing rickets nationwide, and locals have it especially bad.
It does appear that there's a gradient from north to south, and that would make sense as latitude becomes higher, as we move further south, then the UV exposure will decrease over those winter and spring months.
Rickets is a bone growth disorder, commonly associated with bowed legs. Wheeler says there's been almost 60 cases in Kiwi kids over the past few years, and 10 in Otago and Southland. It's most serious in young children, especially those with a calcium deficiency.
Calcium's really important for the brain and for muscle function, and so those children can in fact present in seizure and sometimes even have effects on their heart, and so you theoretically could even die from that at its most profound level.
He says rickets was common around the Industrial Revolution, and it's disappointing cases still occur. Lifestyle and skin colour put locals at risk, but Wheeler says those factors can be dealt with.
Really, this is an illness that we know about. It's an illness we can easily prevent if we just supplement people who are breastfeeding and in pregnancy, and really, so there's no excuse that it's happening.
He says the government's working to ensure people get enough vitamin D, and he hopes his research helps highlight why that's so important. David DeLorean, 39 Dunedin News.
The multi-million-dollar road improvement program for Otago Peninsula is going ahead with final sign-off from the government. Part of the work has already been done, but the remainder relied on funding through the New Zealand Transport Agency. It's been approved as part of the government's largest ever roading investment portfolio. Just under $20 million is being used to make Portobello and Harrington Point roads more safe. Peninsula communities have been lobbying for the work for more than a decade. Approval has also been granted for other local roading projects, including a greater cycling and walking network. The money will ensure several existing projects are completed in the next few years. More than $400 million in NZTA funding is being spent in Otago. Extensive changes to the city's public transport network are taking effect. Bus fare increases and route changes are just the start of a system overhaul by the Otago Regional Council, and staff are confident that will please users in the long term.
Shelling out more to get around the city. Increased bus fares are the first of many changes to improve Dunedin's public transport. And while Otago Regional Council staff accept cost hikes are unpopular, they say there's a silver lining.
We've staggered the increase primarily in relation to the new fare zone structure we're looking at bringing in next year, which is for the metropolitan part of Dunedin. It's 3 zones as opposed to the 7 we currently have. And with that, it means a number of zones will have an increase in fare. But when we introduce the new fare zone system, quite a considerable number of zones will actually have a decrease.
And system changes have come at the right time, with the government approving its share of a multi-million-dollar boost to public transport in Otago.
The $36 million is reinforcement of our program. So that was the missing link, if you like. That's the Crown's contribution to the improvements that we're looking at putting in place over the next 3 years. So that then has effectively given us the green light. In relation to the Central City Hub,
Collins says plans for the hub still have to be tinkered with. so buses can get in and out of the proposed Great King Street site, and it can accommodate the expected increase in patronage down the line.
In Dunedin, it's very difficult because we're competing with a very short commute time in your car. So we've looked at focusing on those things that will give us a reliability service, good frequency, and yes, hopefully the public will come.
More changes set to come into effect over the next few months include a new ticketing system, all to bring Dunedin's public transport up to speed. Ruby McAndrew, 39, Dunedin News.
A man is in a serious condition at Dunedin Hospital following an incident at Port Otago. Police were called to the port at 1:20 this afternoon. They say it appears a straddle carrier has crashed and the male driver has been seriously injured as a result. Officers aren't able to release any more detail about the incident as it's been referred to WorkSafe New Zealand. St John paramedics were also called to attend. Straddle carriers are large off-road vehicles used for stacking and moving standard shipping containers. With the start of a new month comes another nationwide charity campaign. Abstinence from alcohol is the current focus to raise money for cancer patients. And it's got locals thinking about how they can improve their drinking habits.
From Junk-Free June to Dry July. This is the 4th annual campaign encouraging Kiwis to give up liquor for the month. The Southern Blood and Cancer Service gets some of the money raised, and that's got staff signing up.
Mostly what we're trying to do is raise money so that we can provide for comfort care, and we think we're trying to make things better for patients. It's a terrible time when you've got a cancer diagnosis. The more we can do that can make life easier for patients, the better we would like that. So that's, I think, the main commitment and driver for our team.
Last year's initiative raised more than $740,000 for cancer services in Auckland, Wellington and Christchurch, inspiring the Southern DHB to get involved for the first time. And although the campaign's only just begun, substantial donations are pouring in.
We've had $10,000 pledged to people who are going dry and supporting the Southern Blood and Cancer Service.
He says locals are benefiting in two ways. The campaign helps fund additional cancer services and puts a spotlight on the nation's concerning drinking culture.
It's always a good idea to drink less within the New Zealand culture, and we are increasingly becoming aware that some cancers are caused by excessive alcohol. So certainly reducing alcohol overall is a good message.
And for those unwilling to give up the grog, even temporarily, they can donate in support of sobriety. Ruby McAndrew, 39, Dunedin News.
Still to come on 39 Dunedin News, the Mayor discusses the Council's efforts in changing the city's drinking culture, and the Nukes share their passion for their instrument with local school children.
Pregnant? Need to talk? 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Pregnancy counselling services are here to help. It's free, it's confidential. Call us now on 0800 773 462.
Discover New Zealand's most innovative museum, Toitu Otago Settlers Museum. 14 stunning galleries, 3 distinct architectural styles, and 1 million intriguing stories are yours to discover at Toitu Otago Settlers Museum. Open daily next to Dunedin Railway Station and with free admission. Toitu Otago Settlers Museum.
Every reason, every season, we're proud to dress the region. Alex Campbell Menswear, it fits.
Moving around the corner, overseas, Best Removals Otago Limited, specialists in household removals and business relocations, as well as packing materials, secure storage. Best Removals can do it all. 0800 266 834.
I understand now how economics can affect global warming.
And I found out how grass growth in New Zealand affects Fashion Week in Milan.
I can even tell you how smartphone technology affects the survival of mountain gorillas.
Sorry.
Because at the Otago Business School, it's not just about the world of business, it's how business affects the world.
I'm Kim. Michaela.
David. And this is our place in the world.
Take your place in the world.
For 30 years, Southern Clams have harvested New Zealand littleneck clams in the coastal waters of Otago. Hand harvesting to order at the right place and time ensures perfection of every clam you eat. New Zealand littleneck clams, harvested for you by Southern Clams.
Wake up time and another frantic day ahead for Haraway's Oat Singles. With 3 delicious flavours in each pack, they don't last long with this family. They're so convenient and tasty, and they're ready in seconds. Haraway's Oat Singles are the ideal breakfast or snack on the run for today's busy families. And there's a flavour to suit everyone. Beat the rush and make sure you get your favourite flavour. Haraway's Oat Singles. Try new Kiwi Favourites Caramel Variety Pack.
Sweet dreams. Sweet dreams.
Welcome back. National telecommunications company Spark is apologising to Dunedin residents for ongoing network problems. Some Spark customers have had trouble with text messages for more than a week. The problem started when Spark upgraded its software on the 20th of June. That was supposed to improve text messaging, but instead some Dunedin users haven't been able to send or receive texts. The company says it's working to fix the problem as soon as possible. A spokesperson says the company's received a small number of queries about the issue. And on that note, let's take a look at today's markets. The NZX 50 has closed the day up 67 points. It's now at 5,794. The FTSE is down 100 points. And to the exchange rates, the Kiwi dollar is up against all the currencies we follow. A raft of new measures are being implemented to curb the local drinking culture. Dunedin Mayor Dave Cull is involved in citywide efforts to reduce alcohol-related harm, and he joins us to discuss what's happening. Good evening.
Good evening.
What is the problem with Dunedin's drinking culture?
I think the same problem with New Zealand's drinking culture, actually, right across the country. We tend to drink too much, we binge drink, and I think that we have this, in some quarters anyway, attitude that you drink to get drunk, and that's tends not to have good results.
How will the new local alcohol policy change that?
The new alcohol the whole point about local alcohol policies is that they're developed for the community they're in. So although our drinking culture has probably got the same problems as all over the country, we have some differences about the way the city is. And one of the big differences is that we have a large cohort of very young people, all concentrated in the north end, the tertiary students. They don't behave any differently from anyone else. There's just a lot more of them. So what that leads to is a lot of drinking outside bars from cheap off-licence alcohol, and then that can lead to problems in the bar area when people arrive preloaded. So the local, one of the main things we're proposing is to make off-licence hours 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. to stop that, or to try and curb that preloading culture.
And what's your reaction to the new BYO Accord?
I think it's a really positive step. It gives, I mean, the restaurant owners have responsibility under the law for what happens in their cafes and restaurants. So what it does is it gives them, empowers them to take measures that protect themselves and their premises. So, and it's not asking anybody to behave in ways that they oughtn't to.
And you're involved in discussions about the student drinking culture. What's happening there?
What's happening there is that both the university and the council are behind the scenes pulling together some of the possible measures that we might take to make people safer and to curb some aspects of behavioural issues. We're going to get together with the university, the council is, look at what things we can support, and then we'll get the wider group of stakeholders in to see what else other stakeholders can contribute to the conversation.
Are you worried about Dunedin having a reputation as a boozy city?
Yeah, as I said earlier, I don't think that we have any more alcohol problems than anywhere else, but it does get more media attention if there's an incident, and that goes right around the world. So yeah, that image issue is a problem for Dunedin, I think.
Are these efforts just the beginning, or is it just the start of something?
Oh, look, I think that community attitudes are changing. I mean, you mentioned that various things have changed. There's the BYO Accord, we've got a new LAP that we're proposing, but also the government's recently changed the law about blood alcohol limits for driving. So I think there's a general rising in consciousness that the community needs to do something. And you can't change things overnight, and it's a problem we've all got to own. So it's just different measures by different agencies.
What do you expect to happen in the long term?
Well, I don't know what I expect to happen, but I know what I'd like to happen. I'd like a more sophisticated attitude by all of us to drinking, so that the focus is more on food, on entertainment in a lot of places, and not just just drinking cheap alcohol for the sake of it. And we've got some great precedents. We've got some really good craft beers made in Dunedin. So we've got a basis for, and great wine coming out of Central Otago. So we've got the basis for some sophisticated, high quality drinking.
Dunedin Mayor Dave Cull, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
After the break on 39 Dunedin News, we'll find out which touring performers are sharing their passion for a pint-sized instrument. And we're on the streets to see what you think about one of the changes to our local alcohol policy.
Sir Bob Charles, New Zealand's greatest golfer and still going strong.
I'm sure that Sportsville was a contributing factor to my success, and I'll continue to use it.
Sir Bob Charles Sportsville, a product so good he puts his name to it.
Well, I believe Sportsville helps maintain your quality of life.
Now being used by active men and women globally to support strength and mobility.
Works for me.
Sir Bob Charles Sportsville in the new all-black pack. Call now for the Sportsville special. 0800 502 402.
128 tracks, dynamic automation, dual faders, and totally digital. This is state-of-the-art music production. The SSL Digital Console. You'll find one in the BBC studios in London, another at CBS studios in New York, and now one at the University of Otago. It's a good reason why our sound now sounds even better. My name is Maddie Parkins Craig, and this is my place in the world.
Take your place in the world.
Hedges are something we almost take for granted. A good hedge needs regular maintenance to look its best and to add value and character to your property. For all your hedge care needs, call the team at SGC Services on 0800 783 453.
Quality Tailors, the alterations specialists, adjusting alterations made to measure. Quality Tailors, fitting Dunedin for over 15 years. Call 477 8028 162 Princess Street, one shop down from Darling Street.
Discover New Zealand's most innovative museum, Toitu Otago Settlers Museum. 14 stunning galleries, 3 distinct architectural styles, and 1 million intriguing stories are yours to discover at Toitu Otago Settlers Museum. Open daily next to Dunedin Railway Station and with free admission. Toitu Otago Settlers Museum.
Every season, we're proud to dress the region. Alex Campbell Menswear, it fits.
Pregnant? Need to talk? 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Pregnancy counselling services are here to help. It's free, it's confidential. Call us now on 0800 773 462.
Here's something else to look forward to sinking your teeth into every weekend with the Otago Daily Times. The Weekend Mix, your guide to what's hot in fashion, entertainment, food and more. New weekend magazine in your ODT. Pick up your copy this Saturday.
Welcome back. There's a large appetite for electric vehicles in New Zealand, shown by the latest local research. Dr. Rebecca Ford of the University of Otago's Centre for Sustainability recommends changes to improve uptake. She says most people are willing to use electric vehicles, but they're dissuaded by cost and confusion. There's about 660 electric vehicles nationwide. Dr. Ford says public charging stations should be set up, as well as government and corporate fleets. Otherwise, New Zealand will be left behind in terms of renewable transport. Dunedin children are benefiting from the local tour of an Auckland band. The performers are holding musical workshops in several schools, and they're sharing their knowledge and passion for a small but cheerful instrument.
Strumming along, singing a song. Tainui school pupils learn the ukulele from Auckland band The Nukes. Teacher Marion Gray says having professional artists visit the school makes children aware of the potential for creative careers, and she says their education is enhanced as a result.
We've had the music prior to the Nukes visit, so the children have had a bit of a run through with it, and they're obviously learning some more songs as well in there, so that it adds to their repertoire of being able to use different instruments.
The Nukes are teaching small groups of Dunedin children how to play basic chords, and the pupils get to show off their skills to classmates.
They're performing for the rest of the children, which is pretty exciting.
She says it's a fun learning exercise for all involved.
Oh, absolutely. They look like they're having a great time, and there's obviously a great rapport between the Nukes and the children.
Band member Ben Collier says educational workshops are an important part of the job. They provide regular income and allow band members to spend more time playing music. And he's impressed with the input from local pupils.
The Dunedin kids have been great. Yeah, we've had just really overwhelming responses from all the schools we've been to. Really enthusiastic kids, all pretty well up to speed with their uke playing as well. I mean, we just mostly a case of refinement in the basics, and yeah, we've had a really good response from the kids, so they've been really right into it. They love it.
And band members are enthusiastic about sparking a love of music among the next generation.
You never know where it might lead for them.
The ukulele's becoming more popular in schools, the perfectly sized instrument for little fingers, with a plucky sound for cheerful tunes. Rosie Mannins, 39, Dunedin News.
The Dunedin City Council is imposing more restrictions on the sale and consumption of alcohol. Its new policy includes a 9 p.m. limit on alcohol sales from off-licence premises like supermarkets and liquor stores. With that in mind, our Word on the Street team asked the public what they think about the change.
Don't really have an opinion, but it could be annoying for people trying to get on the piss. Don't really know.
I think no, because they have the whole day to sell the liquor, and we do have a problem with people buying liquor and problems that are caused by people having parties around town. So no, I think that it should just be no after 9 o'clock.
I think no. We've probably got too much of a drinking culture anyway. Yeah, you can buy it beforehand if you really want it.
Definitely yes. Sometimes you might go to the movies and just want to grab a bottle of wine and take it home.
I still think yes, and I think it's down to the individuals as to how they choose to purchase their alcohol and their own levels of consumption. The supermarkets can still stop someone selling it to someone if they believe they're drunk, so those rules still apply. So
I don't drink, so it's not really anything I'm really concerned with.
I don't really think so. It's not... I'm a bit funny on the idea of alcohol.
Probably not after 9 o'clock. just because there should be some parameters around how late you could have alcohol.
Yeah, I think they should. I mean, people can buy it before 9 o'clock if they want to. I don't know why it needs to be cut off at 9 o'clock. So I think it's fine.
I think maybe, yes, they should be allowed to, just because you can get it elsewhere anyway, so it's not really going to make too much of a difference.
And now recapping tonight's top stories on 39 Dunedin News. Local children are especially at risk of developing rickets from vitamin deficiencies, as revealed in a new study by an Otago University academic. Bus fare increases and route changes are just the start of a multi-million-dollar public transport overhaul by the Otago Regional Council. And residents are giving up alcohol for the month to raise money for additional cancer services as part of a nationwide health campaign. Well, it's time now to find out what's happening in tomorrow's Otago Daily Times. We're joined by Bruce Query. Good evening.
Good evening. We've got more news about Dunedin's temporary court facilities. The latest revelation is that they will cost the Ministry of Justice almost $600,000 in the next year in rates and rent. Then, of course, the big news of this week, of course, is the Highlanders counting down to the final, and we've got lots about that in our sport. Plus, the Highlanders are also asking for some flags to take up to Wellington. The Landers Army is building to march on the Cake Tin, and the game will be screened on Dunedin's Town Hall. We've got more on the crane accident at Port Chalmers, a Port Otago worker taken to Dunedin Hospital, as you've reported, in a serious condition in intensive care. And tomorrow in your ODT, don't miss our special publication. It's called Southern Snow and School Holidays, and it's your guide for the next 2 weeks.
Excellent. That's tomorrow's ODT. Thank you, Bruce. Time now for local weather.
This local weather report proudly brought to you in association with Silverhorn Sportsville.
And here is tonight's city view. It's taken of the Octagon at lunchtime. And around the city at 3 o'clock today, 9 degrees for the central city and the gardens, 11 for the Taieri. Well, to the situation, the airflow is tending northwesterly now, or it is about to be, and that's all ahead of a front that's due over the South Island on Friday. To the forecast for some of the main towns for tomorrow, rain with strong nor'westers for Invercargill and Te Anau. Nor'westers in Gore with rain later in the day, and just a bit of cloud increasing with those nor'west winds for Alexandra, highs of between 10 and 12 degrees. Strong nor'westers with late rain for Queenstown, high cloud in Oamaru, nor'westers there as well, and the cloud will increase. The nor'westers will blow in Wanaka and Twizel, both expecting a high of 12. And Dunedin tonight, fine, with an overnight low of 3, that's a bit nippy. High cloud increasing tomorrow with mild nor'westers, they may become quite strong and gusty. A southwest change at night will bring some rain, we're expecting a high of 13. And on Friday, becoming fine after those showers and a high of 10. And finally to the Southern Clans tidal and fishing information, low tide tomorrow morning is at 25 past 10, high tide follows at around 4 o'clock. And fishing conditions are expected to be at their best at around 12:30 tomorrow afternoon. Good luck. And that's all from the team here at 39 Dunedin News for Wednesday. See you tomorrow. Good night.
This 39 Dunedin News Bulletin proudly brought to you in association with Alex Campbell's Menswear.
Supporting local content so you can see more of New Zealand on air.
Just want a lover like any other, what do I get? Only want a friend who will stay to the end, what do I get? What do I get? Oh, what do I get? What do I get? Oh, what do I get? I'm in distress.
Welcome to Southern Attractions Over the next half hour, we'll take you on a virtual tour of the historic city of Dunedin and its magnificent wild landscapes. We'll introduce you to many of the features that make this place so welcoming to visitors. And we hope this show will help you decide how to enjoy our city's many attractions and inform you more about Dunedin and Otago. At 46 degrees south, about halfway between the equator and the South Pole, sits Dunedin, also known as the Edinburgh of the South, or colloquially as Dunners, and the Maori name is Ōtepoti. It's the second largest city in the South Island of New Zealand and the principal city of the Otago region. It's considered to be one of the 4 main urban centres of New Zealand for historic, cultural and geographic reasons. The Dunedin urban area lies